talk about the differences between planting your microgreens and planting your salad greens. So there are a few differences, but generally the process is the same. So you'll still fill your 10 by 10 square trays with soil. This time you'll fill them with 6 cups of soil rather than 4. And the reason for that is that your salad greens will be growing longer than your microgreens, so we will need more moisture holding capacity than your microgreens. So go ahead and fill each 10 by 10 tray up with 6 cups of soil. Once you've filled your tray with soil, you use the same process to use your funnel and water into the bottom tray. This time you're going to use 4 cups instead of 3 cups for microgreens, and that's because there's more soil in there, so you need a little bit more water to moisten it. Now we're going to plant your lettuce seed. Now you don't need to soak your lettuce seed before you plant it. Actually, you do not want to do that. You want to just seed it dry. Now, in the teacher's manual, we do have a full directions for growing your salad greens. You can follow those directions. However, the amount of seed that we've suggested using for one 10 by 10 tray is quite high. We've noticed if you use that amount, you'll end up with quite a bit of crowding for your lettuce, and you'll need to thin out quite a bit of lettuce as you go so that it can reach full maturity. We've suggested a half a tablespoon in the teacher's manual, but we do suggest about 1 teaspoon or even 1/2 teaspoon. So when you're planting, you want your seeds to be scattered with about 1 centimeter to 1/2 centimeter away from each other's seeds. The best way to do this is to measure out your amount of seed using your measuring spoons. So we're going to measure out our seed . And then we're simply going to scatter the seed on top of the soil. And you might want to use your hands for this as well. And you just want to scatter it out on top. Now once you've done that, and the seeds are about 1/2 centimeter to 1 centimeter away from each other, and if some are clumped up, it's not a big deal. Just sort of aim for that as a good estimate. So once you've scattered all of your seeds, you want to cover your seeds up. This is different than your microgreens, which you leave exposed on top of the soil. For your salad greens, you want to cover with enough soil, about 1/4 of a centimeter to 1/2 centimeter. So not a lot of soil, just enough to just cover it up. So go ahead and do that, and then give it a pat down. So once you've covered your seeds with soil, it's time to just give them a pat down, and this ensures good contact between the seed and the soil. Now once you've covered them up, give your soil a spray again. You want to make sure that the top of the soil is saturated. The bottom should be quite saturated because of the water that you've added into the reservoir. Now, for another difference between planting your salad greens and planting your microgreens, you are not going to cover it up with a blackout dome. Instead, you're going to use your clear dome. And that's because your seeds are already covered with soil, and we don't actually want your lettuce to get too tall. We'd like to encourage some more compact growth. So go ahead and place your dome on top of your tray. Now your dome is going to lock in moisture so that your seeds stay moist while they're still germinating. After a few days, you will notice that some seeds are starting to come out of the soil. Once you start seeing your seeds start to sprout, you can remove the tray. You want to make sure at this point that your tray is placed under your light. Now for your lettuce greens, you do want them a little bit closer to your light. Ideally, you want your lettuce about 6 inches to 8 inches below your light. So that is considerably less than your microgreens. One way to solve this is to just simply place your tray on top of books to raise it up closer to the light.